Howdy, I'm Matt, and in this episode we've got the unboxing of not the Orbit Wing, but instead the Sonicmodell F1 Sport Wing. Now you'll notice I didn't say racing wing because I don't reckon it's a racing wing. I reckon personally it's a sport wing by its design, and you will find out more in a few moments' time. So let me just say from the off, this model was bought out of my own money for my own abuses. I was curious on this one, so we got it, and it's literally just turned up today, but the box turned up and it confused the living daylights out of me. Look, it says an Orbit Wing. I've got an Orbit Wing down there, which I've yet to do the final review on, it's an okay model in short. And this one turned up on Banggood a short while ago. So let's get her open and we'll take a look to see what we've got in the box. Now, I've already mentioned this one, it was bought out of my own money for my own abuses. The links which are in the video description are affiliate links, so if you use any of those links you will be supporting this channel, something which I would like to be, and do my best to be 100% clear about. With that said, let's move on and get this one open. So that really did confuse the living daylights this morning when this one turned up, and hang on, I've already got an Orbit Wing, what's going on here? So I think they've been and reused the boxes. It must be the first batch. Well, one would hope to think it's just the first batch. First looks in here, it is a extremely well packaged item. Now I need to give you a quick couple of specs on here. Now it's got a wingspan of 833 millimeters, which is about 33 inches or something like that. Now this model is being marketed as a racing wing. Now the reality is a racing wing does not carry a HD camera, and this one does. So I think the marketing is wrong on this one. Personally speaking, again you'll see what I mean. I'll just get the fuse. Oh, that's nice. Actually that's really nice. Sorry, I could see that through the bag and it looks really good. So I think they've got the marketing wrong on this one. This is a sport wing, and the reason why it's a sport wing is because it will take a HD camera in the nose. So yeah, that's a curiosity which we've got on here. So right, let's get this out of the way. Again, really well packed. That's carbon fibre. I don't even need to get the multimeter out on that one. Lots and lots of packaging here. It is going to be one of those click and go models, which, to be honest, is not a bad thing to. It saves any build time by the looks of it. Now, that is, whoa. Okay, I need to do a comparison for you. For that EPO foam. Sorry, it's moulded EPP foam, and once you realise how good and why I'm going whoa in a few moments time, you'll realise why Matt is semi-excited about this. Right. Yeah, that is really, really nice foam. Now, are we not missing some bits? I wonder if they're in the Senate section. So let's get the box out of the way. So a 33 inch, give or take a ½ inch or whatever, sport wing. Now, how did we get in here? Now, I have gone for the plug and play kit. Now, normally, I don't go for plug and play kits, and the reason why I don't normally go for plug and play kits is because I normally like to put my own components in here. That said, I don't think I'm going to get that lid off now. They only had the plug and play kit available. There is a kit version available, so if you do like this wing, I'll put a link to the kit version in the video description for you. It does look like a super simple build. In fact, I reckon I could build it right now and not even break a sweat, which is that is probably about the build. Give or take, pulling the servo wires in, and what's that, 2 screws and some servo cables. That was the build. Talk about easy. And again, if you do go for the plug and play kit, it looks like you need a stick of propeller on, which I haven't seen yet. I'm hoping it's all going to be in the main fuselage area. The servos are already set up. Add your own FPV gear. Right, here we go. So the rest of the parts are inside of here. So let's see what we've got in here and see what we got component-wise. In fact, there's me having a look. Why don't I show you? So what I'm going to do, I've got the zoom function here. So there we go, there's the inner section. So you'll see what I mean now, what I'm saying about it being more of a, spitting words out, a sport wing, because I thought this front section was, and again I'm actually wrong, I thought this front section was going to be a pop-off nose section, like maybe like the AR Stealth Wing, where the nose section pops off and you can put different cameras in here. actually, looking at this, if I turn this around so that you can see up inside of there, and again, let me just get zoomed right in so you can see it, and again, I hope that's coming into focus for you, is that you'll be able to see just up here, is that that is for perfect size for a run-cam styled FPV camera. So yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they have got this one set out correctly, and for it to be a sport wing, a racing wing, because that nose section, while it's not the most aerodynamic, is going to protect your components, to say the least. And inside, in fact, I am going to just zoom in again. Apologies if this is a little bit wild on the zoom. Right, so can you see up inside of there, if I hold that still, is up inside of here, you've got a nice plywood inside to it. We've also got the ESC being sat down here in the bottom. We'll pull that one out and take a look. While I'm here, I'm just looking at the motor on the back end. It is a D2216 2000 kV motor, so it's a natural decent sized can. When I've got a tape measure, oh no, I've got a ruler. Let me just put the ruler next to that. So the can is about an inch tall or so, or 2.5 centimeters. So it's a fair old sized can, so decent sized can, that means that we are going to get plenty of torque out of the motor. If we now go and take a look to see what propeller we've got provided, so we get 2 propellers, it's always happy days. Does it say? Yeah, they've been provided a 6x45 now, or a 60-45 propeller. Now I can already tell this is a tough propeller. They've definitely got glass fibre reinforcement in the propeller, because if I could, well, yeah, I'm sure you've seen the cheap quad ones, which I've got down here. So here's a cheap quad one. Okay, can you see how much I can bend that? I know that one's in the bag, but that one is way stiffer, and they've definitely got glass fibre in that. And again, I'm sure if I cut it with a knife, it's really, really stiff, which is exactly what you want on a racing model, which is going to get absolutely ragged. The top lid, the foam is so dense. In fact, I'm going to come around there and I'm going to show you this lid section just to make the point on how dense this foam is. It is right up there. Remember we had the Reptile S800, the Reptile S800 here a short while ago, and I said that that foam was really dense. So there's the lid. The gravity in this lid is quite high. It's extremely dense moulded EPP foam. Okay, so if you look really closely in there, what I'm going to do, I'm trying to squeeze that with both my thumbs, and it's popped out immediately, and it's just not compressing. So that foam is really, really well compacted, and that's what you want out of a wing. Which, again, the denser the foam, basically, I know it's going to make it heavier. So this model, we'll weigh it up in just a moment. It is going to make a heavier model, but, and it is a big but, it does mean that it's a tougher model. Now, I am half wondering, is this one worth bashing around on the desk just to see how tough it is? Because this wing, in fact, I'm going to bring this around here just to show you, because I'm actually really impressed by this. Excuse me. If we ever take a look at the wing piece itself, so number one, you've actually got hinges. You can only just see them in there, in the wing. It's a proper hinged aileron on the wing, which is something which you you've got 3 hinges in there. There's another one there, and there's another one up there. So it's not relying on the EPP foam to form the hinge or a tape or something like that. You've actually got a plastic hinge in there. You've got a decent, if we have a look at that, that's a decent control horn which has been screwed through to the bottom. The only negative which I could say, but even that looks like a 2.1 mil or 2 mil steel rod which they've got in there. Again, we'll see how it flies, and again, my paranoia, I might put a piece of carbon rod on top of it. But this foam, and again, look at the finish on for the stickers. Someone has spent their time to ensure that those stickers went on in the right place. So a nice little touch in the factory when they were putting them on. Really, and I can't tell you how dense this foam is. And again, looks like they've got look, you've got a spar running down the centre which runs all the way along the leading edge. You've got another one, you've got another spar which is just there on the end running all the way along here. And this wing is super, super rigid. Okay, and can you see the sinews in my arms moving when I'm doing that, and then compare that to the wing? I really am trying to force this wing to bend, and it is super, super tough. In fact, I'm actually going to say the density on this foam is superior to the Reptile S800, which, let's be frank here, I paid $80 for this wing, and that is what I would expect. So yes, is this now falling into a race wing? My answer, I was wrong. I'm going to put my hands up. I'm going to say I was wrong. I thought it was just going to be a sport wing. This might be, just maybe, looking at this, a race wing, because this wing is so bloody stiff and that foam is so hard. Look, if I put it right up on that leading edge, can you see in there? And I'm pushing really hard in there, and it's not denting. That now goes down as the densest moulded EPP foam I have ever come across. And that's saying something. If you know how many models I've been here through here, I'm genuinely impressed. That is pretty damn cool. So anyway, let's have a look at the setup. We've got two little wires, a wire kicking in for each. Again, this isn't going to take more than like 2 minutes to get built. I'm just pulling out the cables at the side. I presume they go in, just need to match that up. Actually, they go in the rear hole here. Oh, there's a spar to go through. You mustn't forget the spar. That was one of the first things we took out of the box, wasn't it? I'm sure you're going, Matt, what about the spar? I can hear you shouting at home there with the iPad on your lap. Matt, what about the spar? Hey ho. Anyway, let's get that through. This foam, I'm genuinely impressed. This fuselage is so rigid, firm. I can't. It's just such a high density foam. I've not come across that. To be honest, I was personally expecting a lesser set of components. I was personally expecting I thought it was going to be something like the foam which you get on the Reptile S800, which is a fantastic foam. Let's not knock the Reptile S800 in any shape or form, but this has just taken it to a whole new league. I am mightily impressed. So let's get that in. Now, there was some screws. I'm going to build this wing with you right now. Are you ready for this? You saw me pull out two cables. I've also pulled out two cables. I put a spar in. I'm going to reach down here and find the screwdriver. And this is the build of the Sonicmodell F1 Racing Wing. Remember, Matt's wrong. Hands up. I will admit when I'm wrong, and I was wrong calling this a sport wing, because this ain't a sport wing. In that nose section is I hate to say this because I'm not a fan of them. You could put a run cam split in the nose and double up for your HD camera in the nose. It's not something which I'll be doing. Now, I can't see what... Oh, I wonder if we can get this ESC out so we can have a quick nose to see what actual rating it is compared to what they said in the listing. It's got an XT60 connector on there, which is always happy days. And I'll see if there's a brand on this one. I doubt there is going to be one, but we'll see. And give you a heads up, those of you which do go for the kit version, is that the hole underneath the bay is for underneath the wooden bay, that is actually for your ESC, and that doesn't want to come out anytime soon. In fact, I wonder if I can see. No, I'm going to have to get it out. It's really bugging me now. And by the way, these sessions are recorded in one here. I leave all edits in, and that includes mistakes at times as well. I need a pair of pliers to get that out because that really has gone in there well. And I still can't get over how tough that foam is. That foam is the densest foam I have ever come across before in a flying wing. That's a whole new league. And I hate to go on about it, but I am that impressed by it. What I'm going to do is that down in the video description there's a link to the Facebook group, and in the Facebook group I'll put some photographs of how dense this foam is, because I'm absolutely blown away, and I'm sorry, this ESC just won't come out and I'll end up breaking something, so we'll stuff that back in. I wonder if I can see it up underneath here in the light to see what we've got. all I can see is ROHS, which I know is a standard thing. I can't see the brand on there. And see, it doesn't give me a rating. Just says programmable and doesn't give me a rating, which is a bit unfortunate. But yeah, on the back we would need to balance our propeller and to go in. I am just going to have a quick look on the Banggood website to see what they said about the ESC, and we will take a quick look. So it's an ESC, it's a 40 amp ESC 3S to 4S, which is happy days. Again, I do need to put the propeller on the back. That will take a few moments again because we need to balance it. And that's basically our wing built. All we need to do is add our receiver and put an FPV camera and video transmitter in the nose. There is a nice little hole back here. If I point that hole out just here on the top, why didn't I just hold on to this wing and zoom in? There we go. There is a nice little hole up here at the top of here to get your video transmitter antenna to come out. You can mount it up underneath. Again, I don't think this is one of those wings where if you try cutting into this foam on the sides, you're going to blunt your knives. Okay, it is that ridiculously tough. This stuff is tough. Very, very impressive to say the least. That foam, in fact, I'm going to take the wing off. We'll give it a bit of a bash about because I just don't think you're going to break it. I think you're going to probably end up breaking the plywood inner piece on this one rather than the wing itself, because it's just so ridiculously tough. Yeah, I don't think we're going to break this. Let me zoom out a second. Again, no apologies for the knocking noises. We've got big squirrels here, but that ain't going anywhere. In fact, I'm going to take the piss. Remember, this is my model. I'm going to whack that right on the edge of the wing, and we'll see what it's like. So that would replicate you hitting a tree at full knacker. So tree at full knacker. You watching this? There you go. Let's bring it straight round. There you go. Can you see we've got that little nick just there? And you saw me hitting that on the desk at full pelt. Now that was right at 90 degrees to the edge of the bench, and we've got one little nick in there, and it's probably broken the first couple of bits of foam, but it still doesn't want to bend. So if you imagine you do what I normally suggest, which is that put a piece of clear sellotape along the leading edge of the wing. To be honest, you don't even need to laminate this wing. The only reason you would laminate this wing is that you want to keep the pretty stickers looking good, and maybe you fly in fields of poo like we do. But the only reason, yeah, that's the only reason when you want to laminate this wing, because that foam is so tough and you want to keep it looking pretty for a long period of time. That aside, a piece of sellotape all the way along the leading edge, which is a tip which I've passed over many times in many different videos, is that would keep the wing nice and clean, and it would stop that from happening. The tape will spread the load and the damage across a wider area, so you wouldn't end up with a nick like that. So most impressed, to say the least. I'm now going to go on. It's not a hard build, you know. Probably no, actually. I'm going to say the hardest part of this build, the most time-intensive part of this build, will actually be balancing the lead, the propeller at the back, because that is going to be the hardest part of this build. Because the rest of it was as simple as 2 screws, which I've been and lost one. We'll stick that one back in there and tighten that one up again, and that's it. You could laminate this wing if you wanted to. Frankly honest, looking at the sheer toughness of that foam, you don't need to. It's going to stay pretty for quite a long period of time. It is. I'm taken away actually on the density of the foam. That is the most densest foam. I'm going to. Let's make it, again, I want to show you how dense this foam is. Screwdriver, or back of the screwdriver, okay? I'm going to push in really hard with as much force as I can on the back of here, just to make the point, okay? That's me pushing in on the back. Can you see that dent? Go on, I'm going to have to zoom in at full amount, for you to get anywhere across the dent, because there ain't a dent there. I've just rammed the end of that screwdriver, admittedly the blunt end, into that wing, and most impressed. Really most impressed, to say the least. So, right, let's bring ourselves back onto the topic and get ourselves zoomed back out properly. Right, I need to go and fit a propeller on there, piece of piss to do. Kit, right, build requirements. I'm going to say 1 out of 10 for build complexity. We pulled 2 wires out, we stuffed a spar in it, and we put 2 screws in it. And remember, this is the plug and play version. If it wasn't the plug and play version, then it would still be a very simple build to do. Okay, so 1 out of 10 for build requirements. I am going to give it an 11 out of 10 for build quality, just for that foam. I'm not speechless. It's not like me to be speechless. I'm absolutely blown away on the density of this foam. That is the densest EPP foam I have ever come across. And those of you who know how many models which I get for you will know that that's dense foam. That is the densest foam I've literally ever come across. Nothing's touched this. This is a whole new league. So, well, Sonicmodell, thumbs up, both thumbs up, absolutely fucking amazing foam. You are going to be this is a tough wing, okay? There's no two ways about it. You're going to end up breaking the main spar, that carbon fibre square spar, in the middle before you break a wing off, okay? I just don't think you're going to break these wings anytime soon, especially if you put a little piece of tape on those front leading edges. That is just going to toughen this wing up for nicks and knacks on a daily basis. Yeah, so, right. Quality of components, 40 amp ESC, don't know what brand it is, I couldn't get in there and see. It looks good, we'll see where that pans out longer term. We do have a 2000 kV motor on the back. It is a nice big can, okay? How many times have we had models here? If you think about the plug and play kit for the Reptile S800, if you think about the motor which goes on the back of that one, it's a tiny little crappy 2204, 2205. That is a proper motor. Okay, I'm just going to, I think I've got my motors box back here. I just want to make the point for those of you which have maybe not seen or want to do a quick comparison. Apologies for me having my back to you. I know I've got the motor box here somewhere because I had it out this morning. And I'll see if I've got a small 2205 or so motor so that you can see what we've got. One of these will be 2208, 2208, 1806. I've got one in here somewhere, honest. We'll get a quick compliment right. Ah, there we go. Oh no, perhaps that's an 1806. I started doing this, so I'm going to continue. I know I've got one in here somewhere. He says. No. Oh right, the nearest one I've got this one, which is an 2220. Let me get this right. It's a Black Widow 2204, and it's the one with the ESC built in. And I just want to make the point, the comparison size is that even with this one with a bigger base in it, or the bigger foundation piece on it, I'm just putting it up by the side, it's like this motor is 3 times the size, the can size. Why is that important to you? Basically torque, the bigger the can, just rough laws of motor design is basically the bigger the can, the deeper the can, the more copper which you've got in there, the higher the torque. That means when you punch that throttle stick, ram it to the top, it means that, I'll stick that in the box now I found it, it means that you are going to get to that speed faster, okay? Is that you're going to get to the top end of the motor faster because the motor has more torque to spin the propeller. Okay, that is in our day, in our world, that's happy days. Now, if you did want to change that motor, you could, for whatever reason, maybe you wanted to run a slower KV, you could fit. Let me just put this on here so we do it realistically. You could realistically fit on here a 10-inch propeller on the back if you wanted to. And obviously not with that motor. you would need to put a lower kV motor on the back, but you could easily put a lower kV motor to cut the noise down on it perhaps, or to gain longer flight times. However, this really is a race wing. We do have the CG markers on the bottom. Just a quick practical point of view, are you going to lose orientation with this one? I don't think so, because you've got a white with stripes on the bottom. That's definitely going to help with the orientation in the sky. Yeah, you can change the motor on this. I don't know why. Again, we always hold off final judgment on all models which have come across this desk until we take them out and fly them. And the reason for that, right now, my first impressions on this wing are nothing short of excellent. Okay, that foam is just unbelievable. I know I'm banging on about the foam. The foam is good foam. I could try and bite a chunk off, and I think I'd probably break a tooth. It's that tough. Okay, the foam is unbelievable, but we always hold our final judgment until we get these models in the sky. So if you're not already subscribed, underneath this video where it says Matthew Ogborn, I'm Matt by the way, howdy, is that click on the subscribe button. To the right hand side, press the bell icon, and then YouTube will notify you the moment we take this one out for a maiden. Now, I'm actually recording this on a Thursday, and tomorrow is a flying day for me, and I'm going to get this one ready for the flight line because there is no build required. It was 2 bloody screws. 2 screws to build this thing. In the nose, I'm going to go and fit a mini run cam. I've got a brand new one here. It was actually meant for a different model, but it's going to end up in this one because I didn't expect this one to arrive today, to be frankly honest. I've got a mini run cam Swift. That is going to fit, by the time I've rammed it in now, put the lid back in now. That's going to fit in there absolutely perfectly in the nose. Let me turn that round so you can see it. Put it right up on the camera, seems a bit easy. There you go. Look, mini run cam Swift. You could easily fit in a normal size run cam style camera in the nose. And if it doesn't fit, then yeah, you'll need to get a craft knife out and fit it in. I'm going to put the video transmitter on the back, stick a 4S battery in there, a bit of sellotape on the leading edge, and we are good to go. So, yeah, am I impressed? Totally impressed. I'm absolutely shocked. I'm going to say it again. I'm absolutely shocked by that foam. That foam is just so dense. It's crazy. Anyway, we got the token knacker duct on the top to get some ventilation in. I don't really know how much that's actually going to cause. In fact, if there's one point which I feel entitled to point out, is that I don't think the air vent is big enough on the top of the wing to get enough usable air, and again there's not big enough hole at the back here to get the air out of the model. So when you take this thing out and thrash its nuts off, you'll want to open the lid bay out, take out the very hot battery most likely, and then let it cool down for 5 minutes, and then take it out for another jolly good thrashing. Now, I did mention that I was going to weigh this one, so let's do a quick weight check. So this is the plug and play kit with the propeller. Let's make sure that that's down there correctly. Just go and weigh this one. Make sure it balances okay. Right, it's saying 480 grams, so I'm going to chuck the propeller on with the bag. Okay, it's 488 grams, so we are definitely way above the 250 gram limit, and that is, sorry, I can hardly see on here, that is 1.7 pounds, I think, if I'm reading that right, on the other one, but in grams, hang on, let's just reset that a second. We go back to grams. Yeah, 489 grams for the kit, for the wing itself. So, yeah, most impressed. I'm going to go and do my best to get this one ready for us to go and fly it tomorrow. The only thing which I'm going to do to it is put the propeller, balance the propeller and put that on the back. Really straightforward, so that's just like a 5-minute job. I need to get a video transmitter in there. I will be using the Eachine 526 video transmitter. The reason why I'm suggesting that one is because I've got several of them now. They're absolutely fantastic, and they do all the bands, and it's just push button, and it goes from 25 to 600 milliwatts in there. I will put some sellotape along the leading edge. I will put a camera in the nose. As far as battery, well, it's a bit of a no-brainer. I'm going to be putting a 4S in there. I will be putting a, again, I don't know how, someone will ask, so I'll measure. I'll just quickly get the ruler out a second. The battery bay is at an absolute maximum, okay, and again, you can get more in there, 57 millimeters wide, okay, by 140 millimeters long, okay, so about 5.5 inches long by 2.25 inches wide. So that is a huge, great big battery which you can put in there if you so wish. Obviously, remember, you need to get your receiver in there somewhere, which you can stuff at the back, and maybe put the wires out the back as well. But face value, very, very simple build, and I'm sure someone will get stuck on this one. If you need to take the motor off, there's a hole up here at the top, and there's a little screw in there. You undo the screw, and then this motor will come out on a plastic shaft, and then you can change the motor over if you so wish. It's exactly the same setup which is on the Nano Talon and also the Orbit Wing as well. So I'm going to wrap up now. If you would like to see the maiden of this Sonicmodell F1 Racing Wing, okay, and again, hands up, I said, I went on record before this video came out that I just thought it was just a sport wing because they're going to have an interchangeable nose on it and the usual shenanigans. Actually, I'm wrong. This is definitely a race wing. It's a 33 inch wing, and we need to find out if it lives up to its name. They've called it Formula 1, which is supposed to be the fastest, the best out there. We'll go and find out if it lives up to that name, because as many of you know, I'm a big flying wing fan and I like fast. Let's hope this thing is absolutely crazy fast. If it is, you're going to have a very happy Matt, and if it's not, well, you're not going to have a very happy Matt. So, hey ho. Anyway, any questions about this model, please just ask in the comments section underneath this video. I'll do my best to give you my honest answer on these things, because remember, this model was not a freebie for review, bought out of my own money for my own abuses, and this one, I can tell you, I'm going to thrash its manhood off. And it's time for me to go. So with that said, from myself, Matt, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this episode, and I'll see you again shortly. And remember, if you want to see the maiden in this one, and if you want to see this one getting its knackers ripped off in the sky, yeah, don't forget to press that subscribe button, because I am looking forward to thrashing this one, and tomorrow is a flying day. Fuck yeah. I'm all excited now. That foam is mental. I'm going to go and take some photos. There's a link in the bottom to the Facebook group. You will see, again, you've seen, I know I'm talking about the foam again. It's all about the foam. That foam is the toughest foam I've come across yet. I'm going to make a point. I'm just going to pick it a bit on the wing. I'm going to do it on the bottom just in case I do puncture it, just so nobody else sees it, by the CG mark. And I'm going to put the blunt end of my knife in there. Right. I'm just going to try not to cut my hand off. I'm going to push that down really, really hard. And I'm just going to zoom in on that so you can see it. I'm going to put my finger just there by the CG mark. Can you see that dent there? I've just rammed the blunt end of that. So you look how much, get that on the camera, look how blunt that end is, okay? It's only, say, 4 mils across the end of that knife, and I've just rammed that in there, and it's only made that little nick in there. And again, we're looking at it its worst. You are zoomed in pretty much at full zoom, which is crazy on this camera, and that has hardly made a nick. Super impressed. Time for me to go. From myself, Matt, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. I'll see you again shortly, hopefully with this thing in the sky and us giving it some full beams. So for myself, Matt, cheerios!